Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Lucas. It is Tuesday night. If it's not Tuesday night, that probably means that you have not yet subscribed to my channel or at least not hit that bell so you get notified right away as I release these new videos. And as you should on a Tuesday night on my channel, you're probably expecting a news related video where I'm talking about Taiwanese related news in local and international media. But this week my notebook is actually completely empty and I have no news about Taiwan to report at all. But that does not mean that we cannot take a couple of minutes here together trying to learn something new about Taiwan. In fact, this video is actually only gonna be about things that we have learned after coming to Taiwan. And by we, I mean that I'm gonna actually leave this studio and head out around Taiwan and see if I can find some other friends and YouTubers to join this video as well. But before I do so, I quickly want to mention what I expected to learn when I first came here to Taiwan. I was young and naive and I expected that 1 year of Chinese studies should be enough just so I could put down intermediate Chinese skills on my resume as I was gonna go back home to Sweden and apply for a Swedish job with somewhat of a Chinese skills. Now, 10 years later, I ended up studying 2.5 years of Chinese and my Chinese is still pretty much mama hoo hoo at this point. However, if I am allowed to brag a little bit, my Chinese have improved tremendously, especially compared to the first Chinese performance, the first Chinese baogao I had here in Taiwan 10 years ago by now, which is what we are gonna watch together in the end of this video. And then I will let you be the judge as well if my Chinese actually has improved or if it's something I just telling myself to justify my 2.5 years language studies. But before we do that, we're gonna leave this studio, see if we can find some other foreign YouTubers here in Taiwan and see what they have learned here in Taiwan. Yunyuan,
Hey.
what is something that you have learned after moving to Taiwan?
Something I have learned after moving to Taiwan. First of all, scooters I think is the absolute best way of transportation. I had no idea before because we don't have really scooter culture in France. The slippers, the blue slippers are the best and most comfortable kind of slippers.
Lambaito.
Yeah, always with me. As you know, it's my trademark now. And maybe another one is I didn't know about mountain climbing before, and I only started in Taiwan and I realized that I really love it. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, there was no surprises there and a pretty good summary of his entire YouTube channel as well, to be honest. I'm just gonna assume that every single one who is watching my channel have already seen Yuanyuan by now, but if you haven't, you will have a link down in the description below as well. But I have to say that I of course agree with Yuanyuan 100%, although I personally am not that huge of a fan of Lambaito's. But this is just 3 of the many reasons for why traveling is so important. And I know this is very annoying to hear right now, although we have left 2020, the pandemic is still very real and very serious in pretty much the entire world. But eventually everything will hopefully be back to normal and we all will be allowed to travel around the world, visiting new countries and learning new interesting things as well. Now, I can see that some of you are judging me right now and saying that that did not count as leaving my studio. So I think that we are actually gonna leave my studio for real this time, head down south and see if we can find some other YouTuber and see what he has learned after moving to Taiwan.
Hey man.
What's something that you learned after moving to Taiwan?
Probably that it's super affordable to eat lunch outside every single day.
Okay, thanks. Thank you so much, Wes. Okay, so as I was saying, okay, I know that everyone loves Wes. Let's head back down to Kaohsiung and actually see what he has learned after moving to Taiwan.
Definitely in Canada, where I'm from, going out for lunch or for dinner is an extremely expensive thing. Like if you do that every day, you're gonna be broke. But in Taiwan, it's pretty normal to go out and get a biendong or some kind of simple lunch every day, and it's gonna be fine. Very affordable. Speaking of Canada, and I think Sweden as well, it's extremely cold this time of year, January, February, so much snow. But that's actually a choice. I mean, we're choosing to live in Canada or Sweden. You could also choose to come and live here in Taiwan, where it's just beautiful pretty much
So
all
nice.
year round. Yeah.
January and it's like t-shirt and shirt weather.
Awesome. I love the weather here so much.
and I'm actually realizing that this is the first time I'm down here in Kaohsiung in Wes' new apartment. I think that I'm gonna stay here for a couple of days and maybe record some videos here as well. So Lucas, over to you in the studio to continue with this video. Oh, I don't think that's exactly how it works, but I think you're right, and I think we're gonna continue this video with talking about what I have learned after coming here to Taiwan. Now, obviously, after living here in Taiwan for almost 9 years by now, I have learned countless of things. But for this video, I want to focus on my Chinese skills, since this was actually the only goal I had set up for myself before coming here to Taiwan. And the video we're gonna watch and analyze together just in a second is one of these Facebook memories that just after 10 years popped back up in my feed and reminded me of how times have changed and hopefully how my Chinese skills have improved. And just to give you a little bit more background information, this was actually the last week of my exchange semester up at Suzhou University. So this is around 2 years before I attended 师大国语中心, which I know a lot of you know that I attended. So I just want to be very, very clear on that. I highly recommend 师大. I think that is the absolute best language school. The video you're gonna watch now is from Suzhou University. This was simply after 6 months after the first beginner course that all international exchange students had to take at Suzhou University. And the notes that I will be reading are all written in Pinyin. So it was no Chinese characters at all. I did not know a single Chinese character after those first 6 months studying Chinese here in Taiwan. And when it comes to tones and its pronunciation in general, I think that we're all about to watch 4 of the most painful minutes in Chinese speaking history. So please feel free to lower the volume, grab some headache pills, or whatever you feel like you need to do to survive the next couple of minutes here as we travel back in time 10 years ago when the exchange student Lukas Engström tries his very first Chinese presentation. Oh, this is gonna be so embarrassing. This was like 10 years ago. I remember this was just so very painful to just say. I can't even imagine how painful this must be to watch. Okay, that's the first mistake right there. Actually, at that time, my actual official Chinese name was An Liang Kai. I didn't change it to Lukas until like 2 years ago. But An Liang Kai was way too hard to pronounce, so I always stick with Lukas anytime I was gonna say my own name. Ah, yeah.
然后有也刚来台湾的时候，我只会说2个字：你好和干杯。
But I don't even drink. How would I even know to say "ganbei" at that time?
当在台湾的这个学期，我的中文越来越好。
Just imagine how bad it was when I started. If this is 越来越好。
我对台湾和东吴大学的已经学习。
Sorry, like, do you guys understand this? I honestly have no idea what I said other than probably something that it was my first semester at Suzhou University, but...
我看到一条蛇。
我看到一条蛇。
虽然这是一条小蛇，我还是很害怕。我在台北的一个星期，我到处看看，发现了很多东西。
I honestly have no idea if you guys are understanding right now. This is me talking about my own life, and I barely understand what I'm saying at this point.
我也有去台湾去其他地方。我和朋友去基隆，和其他交换学生去宜兰。和我女朋友去垦丁。
啊 ，OK， 我跟我的朋友去宜兰，然后跟我以前的女朋友去垦丁。
我们有种很多人说你个好棒啊！
垦丁好棒啊！
我们回来的途中，我们坐了2个小时的风筝骑乘车，和4小时的滑雪，你个不好吗？
不好吧？
现在我要有我和我的父母，没有哥哥、弟弟、姐姐、妹妹。
对，
我爸爸有一只猫。
对，我的家庭只有我和父母，身上没有哥哥、弟弟、姐姐、妹妹。但是有2只猫。
因为这个是我们的最后一堂课。
最后一堂课。
我想要谢谢你们的谢谢和光临在瑞典。
谢谢和好光临在瑞典。谢光临，请慢走。 哇哦，好 ，OK， 所以你们刚刚听到的又是我第一次讲中文报告，然后现在我会继续讲中文，所以你可以比一比10年前卢卡斯的中文跟现在讲中文的卢卡斯有差别吗？我真的希望我的中文进步了一点点。是那时候，因为我刚刚开始学，我那时候以为学1年而已。应该够了吧，所以我可以会瑞典的时候，我可以加在我的那个 resume 加好我的中文不错。结果呢，现在10年以后，我还觉得我的中文是马马虎虎而已啊，我只有会说一点点。但是如果你们都不知道，我每礼拜3晚上9点会做一个一直讲中文的直播，我们会讨论礼拜2，如果你们按那个小铃铛的话，是今天的影片。所以我希望明天晚上9点大家就会来看我们讲中文的直播，我们也会讨论我们来台湾以后学到什么。如果你想支持我比较多的话，请大家订阅，还有按那个小铃铛，你会被通知，马上可以看我的影片。Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Lukas. Starts with L as in like, ends with S as in subscribe. Please do both, and see you all tomorrow. 真的很糟糕。